What I'm trying to do is prepare you for the fourth industrial revolution. Anybody hear what I said? The fourth industrial revolution. It is here and it's growing, and it's important that you have a great knowledge about what's going to happen over the next 20 to 30 years. We have to be prepared for a transition, right? So let me move it along. It's one of the things that I find, if you look at the four industrial revolutions that we've had, you're looking at a variety of ways that we've evolved as a world. What's really important, though, is that you prepare yourself. And here's what's interesting to me. Anyone ever heard of a guy named Ned Ludd? Right? So Ned Ludd, we get the term Luddites from Ned Ludd. Anyone heard the term Luddites? So Luddites is almost a bad word for people who are saying, tech is not for me, or this new sort of industrial revolution is going to take my job away. All the jobs are going to go away in the fourth industrial revolution. So back in the 18th century, Ned Ludd, he literally led a bunch of people into destroying machines, just banging them out, knocking them out. And so they became what was known as Luddites. I don't want you to be a Luddite. I really don't. So when you hear about the fourth industrial revolution, or you hear about some of the technology that's been ushering in, some of us will say, well, flying cars or autonomous vehicles, I don't know, and 3D, what's that about, or artificial intelligence or machine learning. We can all sort of start going, I'll be dead and gone before any of that stuff works. But the reality is you have to embrace it, because it's actually generating more jobs than it's taken away. And the reality of the fourth industrial revolution is to actually make our lives better. So you're sitting in this theater right now, and imagine the walls and the ceilings and the floors and the chairs literally being able to accommodate you, listen to you, help you, serve you. The future is bright. The future is good. One of the things that I always talk about is those who do not go into this Luddite sort of way of life find new ways to find new things. This young lady at 20-something years old, coming out of MIT, was the one person that could put together, from a computer science perspective, a way to find the very first photographed black hole in space. That may sound like very nerdy and wonky, and it is, but what it means is we can find new dimensions in the universe that will help our world today. So it's things like that that make a difference when you actually embrace technology. Another one that many of you are familiar with is Hidden Figures, that we came to know how important it was for Dorothy Vaughan to be that leader, even in the face of all the sort of weirdness that goes on in that time. She had a passion for this and was really instrumental in how we go to space to this day. NASA benefited from someone who did not want to be a Luddite, wanted to be a leader in the space of technology. And that's really the point. Being that this is the fourth industrial revolution, when you look at the first three industrial revolutions, they were primarily designed, thought through, and deployed by men. The men that grew up in good suburbs or went to the best schools and all that kind of stuff, men like me, right? So we look through the prism. Everybody has a house and a car and a garage and grass and a street that the kids play football on. That's how I grew up. And that is not inclusive of everyone. Everyone doesn't grow up like that. So we have an opportunity right now. You have an opportunity right now. Silicon Harlem certainly at the table. But you need to have your voice on at the table. I think about the ability to create parity among zip codes, the ability to make sure there's no community falling behind. And the one way we mitigate that is to make sure that we have people at the table that will think about somebody who may be differently abled, who will think about someone who may not see as well as the next person or hear as well as the next person. Or maybe you're left-handed. If you're left-handed, you know what life is like when it's a right-handed world. What I'm saying is we have an opportunity, and you have an opportunity to leave a legacy for your family. You see, if we figure out what's really valuable in our lives, it's no longer the pursuit of money. It's no longer the pursuit of power, and God knows I've been after all of them. But really, what happens when that becomes subordinate to time? The ability to not waste time, use your time wisely, use it with the right people. And I say that because we have an opportunity, a rare one, by the way. These industrial revolutions take decades before they evolve. So you in this audience today have an opportunity to impact that. And my thing is, what if we were able to build an industrial revolution that keeps everyone accountable, but at the same time we celebrate our differences, and we start to realize that we can unite around infrastructure. You know, my co-founder, Bruce Lincoln, uses the term infrastructure for equity. That's exactly right. When you think about what's happening around the world, bridges and streets and tunnels all have to be upgraded. Well, that also means our infrastructure from a connectivity perspective, broadband perspective, internet, all these things. But more importantly, the fourth industrial revolution really drives this new thing called Internet of Things. You hear the term, but you might wonder, what all does that mean? Well, the Internet of Things means that everything will be connected, and there will be sensors everywhere. So when you think about mobility, when you think about health, you think about education, all of these are going to be transformed in the fourth industrial revolution. You see the Amazons and the Google Helps and all those things that you're already using as assistants. Think about your companion that's a robot. You know, some of these things sound funny in some ways, but I'm telling you, we used to laugh about a lot of things like a cell phone. So we are really looking forward to, and I want you to be one of those people. If you look right here in Harlem and you look up at George Washington Bridge, that's infrastructure. There was somebody who built that. And that someone is able to pass that down through the legacy of their family. That some grandchild or great-grandchild or great-great-grandchild can say, my relative helped build that bridge. That's where we're headed with this fourth industrial revolution. Are you going to be a part of it, or will you become falling behind, by the way, just using it? So be at the top of this. So I'm going to give you my final top 10. How do you prepare for the fourth industrial revolution? This is good stuff here, right here. Now, put it up. Pen, paper, Twitter, everything you got to pull out right now. So the first thing you want to do is establish your community as a platform. That's what we've been doing in Upper Manhattan. We've been able to attract over $50 million into Harlem for advanced technology research, test bedding, et cetera. It's phenomenal. Never been done before, where we were actually working with districts, school districts, to be a part of these projects. No longer are we just sitting behind the glass and doing the work. We're employing, we are working with, we're collaborating directly with the community. That's what you'll need to do. I usually say, hey, let's all say, number 9. Well, you don't have to do that. But data, as we all know, data has become so important in everyone's business and in some cases even in your personal lives. And those communities that embrace data for good are going to get ahead of the game in the fourth industrial revolution. I understand there are some drawbacks, but I'm telling you, once you get the right data science around your data, you're able to literally make your community more tech-enabled and more efficient, which is what we really measure. Of course, we're seeing the advent of mobile internet in a profound way. It's going to be even bigger and better and all that kind of good stuff. So that's still going to be part of the fourth industrial revolution. By the way, no more passwords, right? You're going to be using your face. You'll use your eyes, your voice, and even your finger. All right, so invest in genomics, right? Genomics, if you don't know, is going to be the next trillion-dollar business, right? Almost like the internet, or maybe even surpass that. As we're more and more understanding our DNA and how that impacts health, this is a good thing for you to pay attention in the fourth industrial revolution. Blockchain, you hear it all the time. You heard Bitcoin back in the day. It seems to be quieted down. Nobody's talking about it as much anymore. But we are talking about blockchain because it has a profound impact on business, on institutions, on industries, because now we can democratize just about everything and keep everything in check. You want to know about that as you move forward in the fourth industrial revolution. Your skills, right? This revolution is going to be defined not by degrees, but by skills. So let me make sure that you understand that. I'm going to move quickly here. Embrace quantum computing. What that means is going to be the faster and faster and faster of processing information and data. And that's so important to big institutions, but it will get all the way down into our homes on how fast we can process information in the fourth industrial revolution. Obviously, with the number of devices that are going to be connected to the internet, the number of machines, all of this stuff is going to require power. So we have to now start rethinking how we do energy. This is an opportunity for any of you that love this kind of stuff. This is a growing place. You will make a lot of money if that's one of the things that you're interested in. By the way, content. A lot of you guys are artists and musicians and poets, all that kind of good stuff. Well, all that also is getting an upgrade in the fourth industrial revolution through artificial intelligence, through extended reality. These things are important, and some of them you'll have to go look up. But if you really want to have a conversation with me about it, please do. Let me end with this. We're in an era of education. This isn't just simply going to high school or college. This means that everything that's going to be transformed, all the infrastructure, is going to require all of us to learn it, all of us to be able to share it. So this is an era of education, but it's still an era of innovation. So you have an opportunity, the best opportunity, in my opinion, ever, to be able to have something that you've been thinking about a long time can literally be launched in the fourth industrial revolution because we have the speed and the latency. That is the promise of this fourth industrial revolution, which is made up of three things. Edge cloud computing. That means we bring the cloud right into the neighborhood. Right? Applications. That's you. What are some of the things that you're thinking about that can go on? And, of course, the wireless connectivity. Right now you hear about 5G. This is all about speed and low latency. So finally, I'll say, let's do this right. And we, right, the humanity wins. Thank you very much.